Wife wanted half of everything I owned in divorce after sleeping with her ex. So I vanished without a trace. I had believed that the day couldn't possibly worsen, but I was mistaken. The entire week at work had been dreadful, and to top it off, my boss, the company president, called me into his office to reprimand me for a mistake made by someone else. Upon arriving home, I discovered my sister-in-law's car blocking my driveway, preventing me from parking in front of my house. The neighbor's teenage son and his friends had filled the street with parked cars, forcing me to park 3 doors down. Entering the house, I questioned why I bothered. My relationship with my wife's sister Susan had always been strained since the day we met. I couldn't fathom why, but she seemed to harbor immediate dislike for me. Furthermore, I had little hope for an intimate evening with my wife Janice, as we hadn't been intimate in almost a month despite my persistent efforts. Arriving at my driveway, I noticed an empty garbage can by the curb and dragged it around the side of the house through the side gate, placing it next to the back door. Entering the kitchen, I heard music and the chatter of my wife and her sister in the living room. Grabbing a beer from the refrigerator, I took a sip before heading towards the living room. However, a sentence I'd overheard at the door froze me in my tracks. God, he ducked me 3 times today. It came not from my sister-in-law but from my beloved wife. Ever since Brandon came back last month, I just can't get enough of him, my wife confessed. I knew Brandon as my wife's ex-boyfriend who had left her and moved away. Curious, my wife's sister asked, "So what are you going to do now?" Janice replied, "Brandon wants me to move in with him. So I'll get a lawyer and file for divorce. This is a community property state, so I'll get half of everything." I had heard more than enough already. Numbly, I made my way to the back door and retraced my steps to my car. Opening the door, I sank into the driver's seat, now realizing the reason I had been denied any intimacy. My wife was sharing it with someone else, and now she wanted half of everything. The worst part was that the state was likely to grant it to her. Janice and I had tied the knot just 3 years ago. She had quit her job right after our vows, and when she was at home she never lifted a finger. I hired her maid 3 times a week for house cleaning and laundry, and on those days she would cook dinner. The rest of the time either I cooked or she ordered takeout. I know what you might be thinking, but love wore blinders on me. She kept me happy by providing good sex, at least until a month ago. My mother passed away when I was 13, a devastating loss for both my father and me. Dad did his best to raise me right, and we became very close. Losing him to a drunk driver when I was 23 was a significant blow, occurring just a year before I met Janice. Inheriting nearly $2.5 million from Dad, I wisely kept the money invested with the guidance of a good broker. Despite Janice's attempts to spend every dime I earned, I had another hundreds of thousands in savings. I had never touched the inheritance, making it grow even in the current economy. For the full video, click the link below and enjoy.